Oklahoma suffered several injuries that are going to have some big-time ramifications. We'll discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
So the Oklahoma Sooners had players suffer several injuries. The big one, Kendel Dolby, the fractured, or we assume a broken leg, and
dislocation.
Dislocation. There you go. So dislocation, he's going to be out for some time. Who knows exactly the right timeline just yet? I'm sure Brent Venables will have a better update on that. But what does that do for Oklahoma's defense, Jay?
Man, Dolby was him at Cheetah. Not only was he really good in coverage, his ability to blitz is fantastic, right? Like, he brought a different element because of his speed. Like, we saw how Robert Spears-Jennings went through and got that sack that forced a fumble on Nico. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff that Dolby was doing, right? He was getting into that mode, and he was out there disrupting quarterbacks all season. That's a huge struggle for us because of his instincts and ability. Now, that's not saying that Samuel Mosigo's not growing. We got to watch him, right, live grow up in that role, and he did really good in this last game especially. So we'll see a lot of Mosigo. Hopefully we get some Deshaun McCullough back so we can probably slide somebody else in the Cheetah role and move McCullough over to linebacker. But, John, when I really think about it, I mean, he is the biggest loss probably outside of that wide receiver room, because he's the first defensive player to be out extended time significantly outside of Gentry Williams. And, man, do we really need Gentry now?
Yeah, and they showed you, Tennessee did, how much you miss Gentry because, Listen, Woody Washington, all due respect, man, you just weren't able to hang this past Saturday night, and it just didn't look good.
With them eyes, man.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Zach Alley left them in some zero coverage at times, and they got burnt. Tennessee was able to take advantage. Nico made some really nice plays. Their wide receivers got open, and it hurt Oklahoma. At the same time, you need your depth back. You need Gentry Williams back to help at corner so that you can slide a Woody into the slot so that you can utilize your guys at Cheetah. I think you're right. Samuel Mosigo is the guy that's probably going to benefit the most early on. Mm-hmm. I could foresee a Lewis Carter sliding in at some Cheetah as well, because he played really, really well in the snaps that he got. I mean, he was phenomenal. I think he had like 25 snaps or so, according to Pro Football Focus, and he had 5 stops, which led the team defensively, or tied for the team lead with Robert Spears-Jennings. So he was really, really good. I think you'll see more Peyton Bowen, which he had a ton of snaps this week. They've liked him at Cheetah at times, and the dude's just a playmaker as well. So if you're looking for a one-in-one comparison between Kendel Dolby and another defender, Peyton Bowen might be that comp that kind of fits what Dolby does really, really well.
Yes.
Elsewhere, Nic Anderson re-aggravated his hamstring. Sucks. We had him out there for like a minute and got a target, but then got hit pretty hard and dropped the pass. That really hurts the wide receiver room, man.
Yeah, it didn't look like he was all there either, right? But that drop pass, it just didn't even seem like he was even fighting for it. And it makes me think, yeah, he's definitely, there's something a little bit more serious there with that hamstring growing or whatever the heck it is. That sucks. I mean, he had 9 snaps in the game. We need him. Yeah. Right. Not only is he his ability to run routes and be disruptive in that, he can block. He's actually really good at blocking. And so because he's drawing the attention of the defense in the RPO type setup, they're going to follow him, and then he's going to block the heck out of him downfield, which is what you need to be able to open up the run, especially when you do those outside zones and get Javonte Barnes run up the sideline like that. You need a dude that's going to be able to create that type of opening so that the running backs can go. So that does suck, right? You saw losing him and Dolby. I mean, Dolby's definitely done for a few weeks. We may see Nick Texas, right? It's probably the closest you're going to see him. I hate that for him because, man, he had an opportunity to really put up some numbers this season.
Yeah, and there's still an opportunity for him if he can actually get healthy for the second half of the season. I think you're right. We absolutely need him. This wide receiver room is young. It's inexperienced. Outside of Deion Burks, you don't really have somebody that's consistently making plays. So yeah, you definitely need him. The JJ Hester experiment, I just don't think that that's working out just yet. Maybe with somebody who can put the ball on him a little bit better, maybe it works better.
Somebody that can throw him the ball, yeah, I think.
Yeah, we'll see. But hey, you're getting something out of Jaquays Petaway now. Does he, maybe move him into the slot? You can move Deion Burks to the outside. Does that give you a little bit more options now that Petaway's kind of emerged a little bit? We'll see. The other one, Deion Burks suffered a soft tissue injury. Taylor Tatum, concussion in the game. Hopefully both of those guys are going to be ready to roll for Auburn.
Yeah, I'm going to just say don't expect to see Tatum until Texas, right? They're probably going to be very cautious because the way it looked, he got the ball, got hit. They did a hurry up and gave him the ball again. I think he was concussed the play before.
Yeah.
And we were just running the hurry up offense. It didn't catch it. And he wobbled to the sideline. And I'm like, ooh, he does not look good. And so if that's the case, yeah, I don't anticipate him being back until closer to Texas. And give him next week. Give him the bye week. So it's the Sam Franklin show at this point. I need Sam Franklin to do something. Put Caleb Hicks in there. Just give him the ball and just say, hey, dude, if you want snaps here, go make something happen. This makeshift offensive line, we're still trying to get them some chemistry. If you can make something happen, you make some lemonade out of this league. These lemons we're gonna hand you. Hey man, we're gonna have to give you more snaps. But at this point, man, you need to just be playing all your running backs. We got to find somebody that wants to be the number one, that wants to find the hole, the ones that wants to bust through and not be hesitant, because it's all we're seeing is hesitation from our backfield. And I hate it because we saw them when they were confident, and now we're just seeing them just like meh. But I wonder if Hawkins at quarterback is going to help spark them as well.
There's going to be potential because another read option threat, maybe somebody who runs the RPO with a little bit better consistency. If I have one complaint with Seth Luttrell, it's keeping the RPO as part of the game plan with Jackson Arnold. They keep every week, right? Every week we've heard them talk about Jackson Arnold not making the right choice on an RPO. Why do we continue to have him run it? Why are we doing it? Why are we doing it?
John,
I don't understand that.
We talked about this here.
Maybe Hawkins can run it better.
John, we talked about it here. Just script the entire play. Tell him when to do the read. There's no reads. Forget giving him the option.
Hand the ball off.
You're going to go.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to do every single time, right? If you're going to run this RPO, you're always going to hand it off at this moment. I don't care what it looks like. Hand over the ball. If then on this play, pass it to this guy at this many second intervals, right? Don't give him the options to be able to think. And that's what it is. He was thinking too much. You could tell. He looked like he was thinking way too much. It's not going to help us long term. We got to do better than that.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe Hawkins can run the RPO a little bit better because it's going to be a part of the offense. And if he can, perhaps that creates some free running lanes for the running backs to actually make some things happen, because there have been opportunities where, hey, if Jackson Arnold hands the ball off instead of keeps it and looks to make a pass, maybe they pick up 4 or 5 yards and they pick up an easy gain.
True.
But that just hasn't been happening. So maybe if Hawkins is a little bit more comfortable understanding his reads on the RPO, perhaps that creates a little bit better opportunities in the running game. But I'm with you. You got to get Sam Franklin out there more. I know he hasn't played a ton at this level. Still, I think he's a decisive runner, and he's somebody who can at least, I think he can cut back pretty quick. He moves his feet really well. And then I think you're right. Got to get Caleb Hicks on the field. You got to give him an opportunity at least. Like, what is it going to hurt you at this point? Nothing. Because right now, aside from, you got a big 17-yard run out of Javonte Barnes. What did he finish with in rushing yards? 14 yards.
Yeah.
So he had one big run, and then everything else was either zero or negative. So the Oklahoma run game is terrible right now. And that's on your offensive line coach. That's on your offensive coordinator. That's on your offensive line. It's terrible. It's on your running backs coach. They got to get that figured out. And they got to get it figured out in a hurry, because Auburn is not going to sit back and, play coverage and let you run the ball. No, they're going to be stacking the box and forcing Michael Hawkins to beat you, presuming it's Michael Hawkins that gets to start. So, yeah, you got to give somebody else some options. If Taylor Tatum's not going to be available and you don't feel good about Gavin Sawchuk, What do you have to lose running Sam Franklin or Caleb Hicks out there? Hey, listen, there was not very much good to come out of that game, but on the defensive side of the ball.